Okay.
That's how I met him. And then, he was like, yeah, I'm running for office. I'm like, man, do that, please. We need it.
Right. Like somebody from local.
Yeah.
Somebody local. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
give us something.
Give us something we can believe in. Somebody
right.
will be like, oh, shoot, I went to school with him.
Yeah. Somebody that we know from the block.
Right. That part.
Yeah, man.
That part. Oh, man. Well, as you can see, you got a nice little.
Yeah, this is dope. I've
been rebuilding this brand here for a little bit. So like things like this are friend of the garden. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's dope.
I had a poll up on Instagram the other day. And the poll, this had a black background. You had it looked like cells, like connecting each other. And then it had the trees in the garden. And since come plant a seed in the garden is the logo, you know what I'm saying? Everybody voted for the trees.
It works.
I actually dig it. Now that I see it big and blown up on yours, I'm like,
yeah, that's dope.
That's hard.
That's dope.
So this is your welcome screen, Myles.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you being here.
I'm honored.
So everybody, this is a new one for me. I've got somebody that's not a musician.
Well, no, I am a musician.
Oh, okay.
I am a musician.
So he is a musician.
Yeah.
But you're also an engineer.
Mm-hmm. I'm a producer, engineer, live musical director for, live bands. What else I do?
Going through your Instagram,
indie label owner, Full Circle Core Music Group.
Going through your Instagram, sir,
I do a lot of stuff, man.
Accomplished.
I have fun.
Credits: Usher, Chris Stapleton, Santana, Roy Woods, and I'm pretty sure there's more.
Yeah, there's more.
Just to top
more.
off So we got a big dog in the building, you guys. I'm actually excited for this one today, you guys, because I haven't realized how much recognition this platform has gotten.
Man, this is a dope platform.
I didn't realize
light on the right people.
I didn't realize that my goal was every time I heard on a Vegas podcast, right? First thing is, Vegas people don't mess with each other. We don't reach out. They don't connect. This and that. Da da da. There's this stigma in the air. This little small light gray cloud in the air. It's real thin, but it's there.
How true that sentiment is debatable. But
as I learned from K Fly, there's more.
Shout out to homie.
There's
what
more,
up, though?
Yeah, man. Shout out the big homie, man. That's my OG in this podcast game, man. He's the one who told me. He was like, "Hey, check this out. You got an hour in you, big dog. Do it."
Yeah, that's a good mentor to have too, man. He knows what he's doing.
Man, that's the one. So every time, and this is where I get a lot of my insight from, especially on the Vegas hip hop side. And it was like, dang, everybody keeps saying we not connected like that. I'm like, well, we gonna end that stigma here.
All right.
So the Growing with Drewski podcast, what I do is at the end of every episode, I'm gonna ask you a question. I need you to keep this in mind now.
Okay.
I need you to keep 3 special people in mind that you would shine light on and plant their seed in my garden.
All right, bet.
Okay. So end of the show, we're gonna get into that. But this is the beginning of the show, season 4, man. It's going down, you guys. And as always, my brother, my dog, the one and only, The Vision, has provided us with some intro music here. One of my favorite songs out of him, MTS Clear. Let's go. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all are here with me today. Let's rock.
Trust me, I really don't care. I don't care. It's probably best you keep it walking, nigga. Oh no, you cannot compare. Better look in the mirror. I keep my mind on money, nigga, and I always say for the boys over there. I pray they gotta understand me, my nigga. If they don't, I'll make it clear. Yeah, I'll make it clear. Fucking all of my John, these niggas keep ringing my line. I ain't got no time to recline. So why would I even try? Fucking all of my John, these niggas ain't hitting my line. I ain't got no time to recline, so why would I even try? Hey, time, you don't sit up in my chair. Always kept it 100, changing up for the licks, I smell it in the air. Pillow talking here, hustling. I smell it when I see it, for the licks in the air. Let me keep on rocking my John, I ain't got no time to respond. I keep on calling my line, why would I even try? Kept me fucking my John, and she keep on ringing my line. I ain't got no time to reply, so why would I even try? All that shit you talking, nigga, trust me, I really don't care. I don't care. It's probably best you keep it walking, nigga. Oh no, you cannot compare. You better look in the mirror. I keep my mind on money, nigga. I say fuck them boys over there, over there. I pray they understand me, my nigga. And if they don't, I'll make it real clear. I'll make it real clear. Y'all niggas really want something for nothing, that's right. You sleeping during the day, and sleep at night. Now all my niggas got a green thumb. They either blowing flowers or counting them dollars, and that means something. I be on the countryside, I be trying to get away. Ain't try to catch me outside, yeah, I came to play. Go ahead and play around. Loyalty and honesty is what the fuck you stay around. It scares me when your planes, they start to shut up. Then take a peek, you can't be blind, make me fucking wonder. And as you paint your pain through that window pane, it starts to crack from the lightning and the thunder. It's probably monopoly, that's the way you gotta be. Claim to be the bomb like a Saudi beat. No shade, trust me when I say how they look at me the same way. I'ma probably be the next one that they target. All that shit you talking, nigga, trust me, I really don't care. I don't care. It's probably best you keep it walking, nigga. Oh no, you cannot compare. You better look in the mirror. I keep my mind on money, nigga, and I always say for the boys over there, over there. I pray they gotta understand me, my nigga. If they don't, I'll make it clear. Yeah, I'll make it clear.
Yeah. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's Growing with Drewski, season 4.
Yes, sir.
We planting seeds in the garden. And we got an amazing, special, epic. I don't know how to say this, man, because the credits on this man is just too crazy. I didn't think I was gonna have anybody of this caliber in the room.
Oh no, come on.
But we got him in, man. Myles, Noize, Martin.
Yes, sir.
Bruh.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just gonna go back to his Instagram real fast, you guys, and I'm just gonna read what's right in his bio. We got music producer, founder, owner, producer, audio engineer, drummer,
Keyboardist,
credits, Usher, Chris Stapleton.
Yep.
This third one, Santana.
Yep.
Who? It's Santana, people.
I've had the privilege of like honestly just being around that guy is awesome.
Like being in that room had to be mesmerizing.
Oh yeah,
just
he's a sage with the wisdom, bro. Like he's
the game that was dropped in that.
Like he'll say some shit like I just wanted to feel like creme brulee type shit, and I'm like, I get what you mean though. Like
You're like,
yeah, man.
You're trying to think about it, and you're like, okay.
And his wife is one of the greatest drummers in the world. You know, me being a drummer, Cindy Blackman. She also went to college with my dad. So
oh wow,
yeah. So like, you know, I've it was like a double whammy because I'm like I get to record one of my favorite drummers of all time.
right?
And being a drummer myself, like I'm giving her the sauce, like, you know, because I'm like, I know how she want this shit to sound.
Right.
You know, she want this shit to sound like drums. You know what I'm saying? So working with her and then being around Carlos and you know, just his wisdom, and he doesn't have to take the time out that he does with each individual person, but he does. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
You would think, like, you know, one little interaction that you've had with him, he won't remember you from.
Total opposite.
Total opposite. You know, and it's like your family as soon as you walk in the door. You know, that's the kind of love that guy exudes. You know what I'm saying? Man. Those are some of the best sessions that I've been able to be a part of, just because of the sheer vibe in the room. Like, and I was one of the ones that wouldn't get so uptight and stressed the fuck out about it, because it's like, you know, that takes away from the experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, and but just as cool as he can be, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's still very much a producer in that sense, where it's like, we got work to do.
Right.
You know
I mean, you don't get to the greatest of all times.
Hey, man.
Without having
that's an enterprise, bro. That ain't even that's an enterprise. Carlos Santana is...
Right, that's just not.
He bring his own. Man. He bring his own internet to the studio, like, you know.
That's a different level.
You know. So yeah, no. But shout out Carlos and Miss Cindy Blackman Santana.
That is
love
crazy.
To them,
man. That is awesome. Rewind. How do we even get here?
Oof. Okay.
Let's tell the story, man. Let's introduce you to the world.
All right. So I got my start in the Detroit techno scene. I'm from Southwest Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
My father ran one of the largest distributors of electronic music in North America at that time, called Submerge Recordings. Under that label, you had basically the guys that are responsible for creating techno music: Kevin Saunderson, Juan Atkins, Derek May. And so that was the label and the studios that I got to cut my teeth in. You know what I'm saying? When I decided to start professionally, my dad always had me around in the studios and around all of these great musicians growing up. But the techno scene, and when he started running Submerge, is when I took my professional start.
Okay.
And so started as a keyboardist.
Now, how old were we?
This is 12 years old.
Professional.
Yeah, my professional
junior high.
Yep, 12 years old. A Mark Twain
pro card. I'm in the game.
Is where I was going to school.
Wow.
in Ecorse, Michigan. Yep. So before there was Electric Daisy Carnival, there was there is a festival called the Movement Festival, which used to hold the title as the largest electronic music festival in North America.
Okay.
And that festival takes up all of downtown Detroit and Hart Plaza, which I think the year I played it, I think the Detroit Free Press said it was about like 500,000 people out there total.
Wow.
So I played with a group called Underground Resistance. They're like the Public Enemy of techno music. You know what I'm saying? Like they the type, bomber jackets, ski mask, and like, but it would, man, listen, some of the most fun shows and shit that I've ever experienced. Man.
What?
Yeah. So honestly, this is nepotism at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Nepo baby in the room.
The year that I played, that I got my start, Underground Resistance is headlining. And this is the first time they played Detroit since like the 90s. So my dad is actually one of the keyboardists for this group.
Oh, wow.
But this year Submerge is running the festival. And so my dad is like, yep, this is what you've been practicing for. So you're going to play. And the
Pops threw you.
Yeah, Pops just threw me in the game. He just threw me in the game. It was his idea, and Mad Mike Banks, who is the founder and leader of the group. And he's also a pioneer in the techno music genre, you know.
That's crazy.
And they were like, they
had this conversation in the background
and
said, hey, put him in.
Yeah, how about we just put Myles on it? And I was like, oh, word? All right, cool. And, I got to play my dad's rig. We did like this is literally the night before. We did a rehearsal. They were like, all right, he good. And then I enjoyed my day. This is the last day of the festival, and we're headlining. I'm enjoying my day at the festival. I'm like, ooh, shit, I got to play tonight.
Right. Like, and last days of festivals are the biggest crowds.
Man, you ever been to a Parliament show? Like,
Yes.
Okay, you know how like it's like a gang of motherfuckers on stage? That's how this stage was. It was like everybody that performed that day was just
there.
on stage watching this show because UR hadn't played in Detroit in a very long time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not understanding all of this history because I'm just a 12-year-old kid.
I'm
Like,
just legit.
ready to go. I'm not even understanding how important like my dad is, or like how important
You don't.
I'm not.
You can't fathom this.
This is a regular Tuesday because I'm used to the show environment because I'm with my dad all the time.
Okay.
And my dad, you know, from being a touring keyboardist and music director, playing with everybody and their mama, you know. So
Right.
I'm used to that
The
environment.
massiveness of this wasn't there.
It ain't hit me. It ain't hit me until like they recorded the show, and like it was like a camcorder recording, but like it ain't hit me until we're listening to that and I'm hearing my dad like crying like a baby because he's just so proud, like because he's watching from the crowd. He ain't even on the stage. My dad's in the crowd watching.
Oh, he let you rock.
Oh yeah, he's like go to town.
Nah, that's what's up, man.
I had a ball. That was really it was seeing him play all of those years that made me. I always imagined what my moment would be like. You know what I'm saying? And so that was my professional start as a musician. You know, that was my first gig, main stage with the headlining act. And then here's the cold part. Mos Def just dropped by and just decided to sit in on the set. Then he do a little mini impromptu set after. So the show just went the fuck up.
Oh my God.
You know, it went up. But even understanding like how important my mom was in the techno music genre. My mom is one of the pioneers in the techno music genre as a vocalist. She was a part of a group called the Reese Project, which is Kevin Saunderson's group, one of the creators of the genre, and one of the first Billboard #1 charting artists in the techno music genre.
Wow.
So, you know, it just didn't hit me. I'm just used to this shit. But it also, like, this is at a time where techno music isn't, like, mainstream. You know what I'm saying? So
it's still
I'm
cultish.
used to my dad leaving for 2 weeks to go to Japan or go, you know, to England, you know, and him and my mom go do, you know, some shows, come back home. You know what I'm saying? So to me, you know, my friends don't know what the fuck this is, you know. The people that are my, you know, contemporaries, they don't know what's going on. So I wasn't thinking it was that important. But little did I know, like, yeah, this was the start of something crazy. And from there, I got signed to Submerge as a DJ and producer, put out a couple records, and then we decided to move here. It was at a point where it was right before the collapse in 2008.
Okay.
You know, leading up to that, Detroit was not in the best place.
Was that 05, 6?
05, yeah. 05 is when I moved. February of 05 is when we moved
Yeah,
here.
Detroit was bad in 05.
Yeah, and it wasn't really much left for us to do. Like,
Right.
the only thing keeping us there was Submerge, and it was getting at a point where you could do this from anywhere.
Right.
You didn't
With
need
the internet and everything nowadays.
And we were already doing stuff intercontinentally. You know what I'm saying? So it's already a distance thing anyway.
Right.
So it wasn't enough to tie us there. And then my dad had an opportunity to open a label office here for a major label, and that fell through. But it was great to just get out of Detroit in that atmosphere that at that time. I love Detroit. I want to buy some property back home, but
at the same time,
no, honestly, man, Detroit is coming back and it's about to thrive.
That's what's up.
But at that time, man, I couldn't get nothing out creatively. My dad couldn't get nothing out creatively. It wasn't really much for a musician to do because a lot of the restaurants and venues were barely hanging on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, it just wasn't. It was already bad for the industrial workers and the auto workers. So it was only gonna be worse for the arts community.
Right. The arts community was going to
You know
be
what I'm saying?
horrible.
So yeah, and then I come here and it's palm trees and sunshine and shit. And I remember the first day I got here, and we riding down Hollywood. I moved on the east side when I first moved here.
I was about to say
Washington and Hollywood. And so,
sorry, y'all.
East side.
East side.
Yeah,
East
no,
side,
like
East
a lot of
side.
people don't know that. I went to Mike O'Callahan
Hell yeah.
middle school. You know what I'm saying? Started my freshman year was at El Dorado High School.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before I moved to Centennial Hills and all that shit.
He
But
had
yeah,
to say
man.
Centennial Hills.
My dad
nah,
is
man, I loved
taking
it.
my cousins to school because they were going to Vegas. And we riding down Hollywood, and all I see is these palm trees and pretty ass houses.
Yup. I know
I'm
where you
like,
at.
Dad,
This
we're
is it.
never going back.
You like, this is it.
We're never going back. Like, shout out the family, but we're never going back. And my dad has that same sentiment. Like, nah, like this is where we at.
Cool.
And got out here. My mom was doing her thing, in the showroom scene as a vocalist and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then, shit. After that, I started working at Floyd Mayweather's studio. Under Corey Harris. Shout out my guy Corey Harris.
That's crazy.
Man. Yeah, that was my mentor. And this is the Cliff Notes version because there's a lot of other historic figures that have been a part of this journey, I must say.
I mean, we got a whole hour.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I started working at Floyd's studio. My dad has always been my biggest fan and greatest supporter, and he will talk me up no matter what. It got to a point to where my dad was like, "Yeah, I'm retired. Like my son do this shit. Like, and he'll bust y'all ass. So you need to fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my dad
I was like, I'm out the game, son. You got this.
My dad, he went on more of the business side, and handling the business for me. So
That's what's up.
He met Corey and talked me up to Corey, and Corey's like, all right, so this kid really know Pro Tools like that. And I'm about like 14, so he's like, all right, bring him down if he can run this session, and he's my guy.
He's in the game.
And so the first session was this cat named Vegas. I don't know what happened to the cat. I don't know where he is, but I do remember the cat. He could spit his ass off.
Right.
And I did that session. It was smooth. And these niggas is watching me like a hawk, but I don't give a fuck. I'm used to this. Like,
right.
I do this.
Room full of people.
Yeah. So yeah, and I do the session. Everything's smooth. And this is when I started to learn how to mix as the vocalist is tracking, you know what I'm saying? So that way by the end of the session, I can at least give them something that sounds good,
I've only seen one other producer do that. And this were, we were like creating content, like in live. Like I was working as a cameraman at the time. So I got, part of my business, I do camera work and stuff like that. So I got called up, and he was like, hey, come to the studio. We're going to knock out 13 tracks. And it was a project called 13 Days in May. And we did 13 tracks, filmed it all. And by the time it was done, like the producer had a flash drive for me. He was like, oh, these are already done. Here you go. So when you do this, it's clear.
Especially if it's all in one session.
Yeah.
Man, you'd be surprised how many people's albums get done like that still to this day. It's wild.
I mean, I can believe it because when Westside Gun says I did 2 of them in 2 days.
Yeah.
All right, bro. There's some tricks of the trade that you got already keyed up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that I learned that from working under Corey.
That's what's up.
And Corey taught me everything that I needed to know to get in the game as far as the studio game. My dad taught me everything I needed to know as far as being a producer and being a musician and a band leader. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Corey really put me on as far as the studio and running sessions and, you know, how to interact with the artist, you know, while you're working with them and things like that. You know, when to step in and be the producer and when to just fall back and be the engineer. You know what I'm saying? Because it's natural. I'm a producer. You know what I'm saying? So it's natural that I'm going to want to give some direction if I feel it's not going the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But knowing when to do that and when not to
knowing
do that.
when to read the room.
You know, knowing how to read the room and read the artist, you know what I'm saying? And so I worked there for about a year and a half. Corey ended up moving on to the Hideout, which at that time was still odds on recording.
Okay.
And so I was at the crib with it. I met a writer named Baby J who was working with Eddie Galan, Mach 1 Music Group. They did like High School Musical and early Ariana Grande stuff. So, and he had just got off of doing some stuff with Bruno. So started working under him and learning how the publishing game works. You know what I'm saying? And chasing placements, if you will. That's why, like, a lot of people my age as I was coming up in the scene, you know, a lot of people my age that were like chasing placements, and they were looking at me crazy because I'm like, I'd rather just develop artists, because I had already went through the chasing placements phase.
Okay.
Early in my career.
Super early.
Yeah, super early. And I knew from that experience, this ain't it. Like, I'm going to succeed by developing talent and helping new talent grow.
Okay.
You know, trying to mold myself to be something for this act that's already got their thing going and got their team going. I'd rather expend my energy developing somebody that has something new to offer.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so, and I made more money from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, working with independent artists that have their own vision. I mean, it paid the bills way more than chasing placements.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, did that for a couple years. As soon as I got out of high school.
I was about to say, because I'm tracking these ages.
Yeah,
we
man.
went from 12, we went from 14.
This
I'm
is
like,
all before graduation.
We're all about, right now, this is about, got to be at high school.
Yeah, this is all before graduation. This is all throughout high school, pretty much.
So we're at Centennial Hills High School.
No, we're at Shadow Ridge High School.
Okay.
And so this is where I'm like known as Mr. Music. Like, I'm running the fucking marching band, the jazz band. I'm conducting the fucking orchestra.
Don't tell me you was drum major of the marching band.
No, they wouldn't let me be my band director wouldn't let me be the drum major. I was the center snare on the drum line.
Oh,
so
and you were good.
Yeah,
he wasn't losing you.
He wasn't.
He wasn't gonna lose you.
And I was like, all right, well, if you're not gonna let me be drum major, can I play quads at least? Like, it's my senior year. Like, I've been playing this damn snare.
All 3 years.
Yeah, man, shit. Let me do something.
Let me.
And he's like, nah, man, I need you. So I was like, all right, because he was a coach as well. So he very much, like, even in our conditioning, like, we were Shadow Ridge Marching Band from about 2009 to 2011. We was in shape, boy. Like, we was in shape. I was in the best shape of my damn life. You know, Coach had us right.
You might be the person I need to talk to, man, because I'm trying to get another recreational, like, marching band together.
Oh yeah,
just like
hell yeah.
High school kids,
yeah, man.
Junior high, just all the kids throughout the city. But what I want to do is incorporate, like, more modern music and more HBCU style marching band to Vegas.
Okay.
Because I think if we can get them to see the cool factor in it here
and the showmanship of it. Yeah.
It might turn heads in.
Because the culture here is very much drum corps style.
Drum corps military.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And it's very restricting, especially in the drill, when, you know, like, the drill is all about making shapes and make, you know, and it's like, it's not as entertaining.
I was the El Dorado High School marching band drum major for 3 years.
Ooh wee.
also in the concert band.
Oh, you're
also in the
conducting your
jazz
ass
band.
off.
So
Listen, them shoulders got to be right to conduct. Boy, listen.
I'm telling you.
I would get complimented on my shoulders in high school.
Look, at a young age, I had that Frieza shape.
Yeah.
Those shoulders.
And everybody's like, how you get you not in weight training? Listen, you be surprised what marching band will do to you.
When you got to do this for 12 minutes.
Right, at various tempos.
Oh, God.
At various tempos.
Right.
And don't fuck up.
Please.
And stay with the other drum major, depending on how big your band is.
Or the other two.
Right.
Drum majors.
Yeah, because.
Or three.
It was 1 year we were a 3A band. And for everybody that like these niggas nerd the fuck out. Yeah. That's a very big band.
Very large.
Okay, that's a 3A band is like.
That's like 4 drum majors.
Yeah. That's 2 drum majors in front, 2 drum majors in the rear. And these niggas is going to be all over the place.
Dog.
And these drum majors got to keep it together in unison. Man. Because you going to have half of the band, at one point in the show, I guarantee you, half the band going to be looking in the back. A quarter of the band going to be looking at one drum major. And then the rest of the band going to be looking at the 2 in the front.
Bro,
and
God.
Let one of them drum majors be off. The show is a wreck. It's a wrap, dude. And it's hard for a drum major to recover.
With a band of that size, it's not. It's so hard.
You damn near have to cut them.
I was about to say there has to be a break.
Yeah, you almost gotta find a point where you and then start over. Pickups to bar whatever, and hope that they remember.
And hope everybody is like, what the? Oh, we're here.
Hope everybody follows the game.
Okay. Okay.
Whew. Yeah, man. And don't have a pit. Don't have a pit orchestra where you got a whole drummer. We had a whole drummer, a guitar player, a bass player, and 2 xylophones. Like, why do we have this big of a pit? It was crazy, man.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. They're gonna listen to this one. These guys just had a whole fanboy session.
Hey, man, no, marching band was some of the best. Life. That was some of the best times ever, man.
I'm telling you, because like people don't. And my thing is this too. I'm starting to notice a lot of the top tier artists live shows.
Oh yeah,
a few of them are coming back to the. I need musicians I need musicians on stage. I need this.
Nothing's gonna beat that energy, number one.
Right. Like when Jeezy did it.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. My Uncle Kern was his musical director for a minute, actually. Yeah. Like artists that bringing a band, especially when you're playing these bigger venues, you need that energy. And like oftentimes, like when I'm playing behind my artist Myles or Vic Smith, right, or even my artist Tana Marie, when I'm playing behind them. And we're doing like these shows at Brooklyn Bowl where we're opening up for our artists. Every time, it's never been us and another artist with another band. It's always us with the band, and then the artists come out with tracks or a DJ. Yeah, and the energy
totally shift.
Total
you can
shift.
See it in a crowd,
and it's like, damn, it. Sucks. Hate to do it to you, but hey, had to do it to you. You know what I'm saying?
But then when you get like that drum break in the middle of it,
oh yeah,
there's something about it. It's just the way the pressure in the room feel different.
Once the drummer gets to doing his thing, yeah,
man. But then to me though, it's. Like we were saying earlier, textures. The textures of the sound and it's how they make you feel. It ain't nothing like it.
Nothing like it, man.
It ain't nothing like it. So what I want the thing is like we can get these kids some recognition. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because then we got a Future coming to Vegas.
And he want a marching band. Yeah.
And Or he's looking for live musicians just for his in-concert thing. Now we got all these kids that are introduced to and see the thing is to create these contacts too. Hey, look at what we're doing here. I got all these kids. Woo, they're playing your songs. and then it'll be, you know, somebody playing. Like right now, anybody who's playing not like us,
Right.
that's in a band, all these HBCU students that are knocking out not like us, guaranteed 25% of them are going to be in the music industry.
Oh yeah.
Off of this.
Oh yeah.
Off
That
everybody just this cool culture moment. They're gonna be like, hey man, I remember, oh, you were in that band?
Yeah.
Hey, come down to the studio. Let me see. And it's just gonna be boom.
Man, it's crazy what community can do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It is.
And that's the whole reason I'm here, man. If I didn't grow up seeing my dad being a band leader and, you know, interacting with all these great musicians and shit, you know what I'm saying? And creating these moments as a unit, I don't think I would be a musician. Like, for real. You know, it was the collective effort to create a moment and a feeling that affects people. That was what I signed up for.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? And that was what I saw my dad and his bands do. You know what I'm saying? No matter what artist he's playing with, he could be playing behind Martha Reeves, he could be playing the techno gig, he could be playing, behind fucking Chris Brown, he could be playing behind whoever, you know, and create that vibe, you know. So
The real epitome of trust the process.
yeah, you know, yeah. So it's crazy that, you know, like being exposed to those kind of moments, man. That's the whole reason I'm here.
That's what's up, man.
You know,
When did you find yourself like really, really in love with the process? Because now we're out of high school, and we've created some stellar moments from day one.
yeah.
But now you're an adult. Now we get to move a little different. We get to see a little bit more of the world.
Yeah,
How does that affect you?
I had my first humbling moment, and I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. Because coming out of high school and being as respected as I was as a musician
Right.
in high school, you know, even amongst other schools, you know what I'm saying? Like the LVA kids knew who I was. You know, a lot, you know, and especially like the
Good
award
face
winners.
card.
Yeah. You know, the award winners, everybody know each other, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
all state bands and all of that stuff.
Yes, sir.
You know, so coming out of that, before I went to college, I went to a jam session because I was finally 18, so I could go to 18 band. And it's before it was 18 band. I forget what it was called, but they used to have a jam session. I think it was either every Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
This is like back like 2012, you know, around that time. And I went, and now this is a jam session that it's a jazz jam. And so it's just, you know, these are guys, you know, on straight Max Roach, Tony Williams time. And I'm popping R&B gig, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't even, I can do it, but this ain't, I'm
this
playing
ain't
with,
me.
I'm playing with niggas that have dedicated themselves to this shit.
Right.
You know, it's a difference. And yeah, I was humbled. I was like, oof, damn, okay. And so I needed that because I needed to know what I really wanted to do. Because I was struggling with, do I want to be in the studio and be a producer, or do I want to be the live guy and tour?
I was just about to ask, what was the struggle? And that being the struggle, you would think at that age, I'm gonna go out and see the world. I'm gonna go tour and go crazy.
Yeah. And I found myself juggling it, you know. So I went to school for a minute. And everybody knew I was bored. Because I'm not like, I'm going to school for composition. I'm not going to be the greatest. I'm not trying to be the next Herbie Hancock or the next Max Roach. I'm trying to be a producer and a writer and composer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And nothing in that area, nothing beats real experience, man. Nothing beats really getting in the room.
Just getting in there and really building your chops.
Saying? Yeah, and I had a lot of that experience already, coming in. I have the experience that kids are coming here to try to get. So, and a lot of these teachers knew my dad and shit. So it's like, boy, what you here for?
Right. Like, why are you in my class?
Get to work. Like, go to work. What
do
did
your thing.
Do? And so I did just that.
Right.
I did just
Went
that.
Straight to work.
Yeah, I did just that. I started Full Circle Core Music Group as a production company, not as a label.
When was this?
This is 2013.
Okay.
So I started Full Circle, and it was as a production company, just something for myself. Started working with an artist named Eddie Fuse. He had just moved. This is when he just moved here from Detroit, and that was my first artist. And that was what made me go get a distribution deal and turn it into a label and start pushing artists. And shortly after that, I get Myles low, and start really pushing his movement and really developing that. But while I'm doing that, another nepotism moment. So my dad, he's not one of the original keyboardists for Rick James, but he's a part of the Stone City band.
Okay.
And so this is around the time they get booked for like a reunion tour. And one of the keyboardists he recently just passed, Billy Nunn, rest in peace, Uncle Billy. He's the guy that wrote Mary Jane. And so he got sick. He wasn't available to do the gig.
Gotcha.
So another moment, put Myles in. So I do that tour, and that was fun. Like, that was a ball. I ain't gonna lie.
Wait a minute, y'all. Did y'all just hear this?
So
this man played.
I'm playing with all the original members that played on all of these Rick James records. New front man, of course, because, we lost Rick.
Right. But still.
I'm playing with Lannis Hughes, Tom McDermott.
Surrounded by legends.
I'm surrounded by legendary musicians that I'm just soaking all this
that
knowledge
created some sound,
that made
sound.
these hits. You know what I'm saying? And are showing me and telling me and educating me on how these hits were made.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, it was like having a whole band of my dad. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's got to be awesome.
Yeah, and like I some of my most fun gigs were with Stone City, man. And it wasn't just being amongst them, but like honest, like I was a keyboardist. So playing across from my dad and just being able to have those moments with my father was like, I'll always remember that. Like,
right.
And that was a bucket list. I always wanted to do a tour with my dad. I always wanted to be able to tour with my dad at least once. And I got
that one off.
I got the double whammy. I got to tour with my mom and my dad because my mom was one of the backup vocalists.
Oh,
so
wow!
That shit was fun because it's nothing like I needed that because I needed to, every kid needs to understand that their parents are humans.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
and that fostered the greatest relationship to me. Like me and my parents have always had a great relationship. Because they understand, so they've always been so supportive.
Right.
Literally, my dad fought me about trying to get a job when I turned 16. Like, he's like,
what?
Nigga, what is you doing? Like, nigga, hustle and get this money. Like,
he's like, boy, if you don't just do what we've been teaching you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like, they've always been supportive. Like, follow your dreams,
That's what's up.
And
man.
they get it because they're in it, So we always had a great relationship, but touring with them and You know, like
Gotta be different.
like man, like it's honestly like it's like seeing my parents like how they were before I was born type shit. Like
Right.
oh, these niggas is lit.
Right.
Like,
Because they around
excuse me, mom and dad, but like
because they around they homies.
yeah, like
So you just get to kick back and watch them
and
live.
and my mom and my mom and dad, you know, I know it was tough for them, you know, me coming of age, but it was also great for them because they got to accept it. Like your baby ain't your baby.
Your baby ain't a baby no more.
He ain't a baby no more. Like he's definitely doing Hennessy shots before he go on stage. Like you know what I'm saying? With his father.
With his dad.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Like, cheers. Let's go.
You know,
Dig it,
so
man. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So I and what I deduced in this time, because it was really tough trying to figure out like what do you want to do, you know, because like, and this is at a time where I could get called for a tour at any moment. After I got done with that tour, you know, and you meet so many other band leaders and musicians along the way, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was really getting phone calls to come out on the road. And the one thing I did take away from that tour was, and this is 4 tours in my career. So what I realized is I don't want to keep putting this amount of energy out for somebody else's shit. Pardon my French. But I don't want to keep, I realized really early on, 19 years old, I don't want to put this energy into another artist shit unless it's going to be my artist.
I can't keep making somebody else rich.
Yeah, and it's
unless
like
it's gonna be under my roof.
I keep putting my desires off to make sure this shit happens, and that is the job, and I'm very great at that job. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, a lot of these guys that I love and respect, and you know, I've shared the stage with, they, you know, you don't know them.
Right.
And I'm not doing this to be known, but what I'm saying is I am trying to leave a bigger mark than that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's something that I took from Dre. You know, when you really think about it, how many established artists did Dre work with? Dre only really worked with 2 established artists. That's
wow. Yeah.
when
if
you
think
really
about it, if you
think about
really think about it,
like
built brands.
like
he built Snoop.
I'm talking like, well, okay, we'll take 4. We got, because Pac was already established.
Right.
Okay. And we'll get in, because really Daz was doing that shit, but whatever. Okay. So we got Pac. Who else we got? We got Busta later. We got Rakim, but that's at the way tail end of his career. So we got Pac, we got Busta, we got Mary. Everybody else
It was brand new.
Snoop. You don't know Snoop without Drake.
Without Dre.
Who else?
DOC.
Right. You know what I'm saying? He came in the game with
Yellow
NWA.
Boy, NWA, like
You know what I'm saying?
The whole collective.
Eminem, 50
Fifth.
Cent, Kendrick Lamar, Bishop Lamont, if you want to count. Like, come on. There's like every artist that Dre has had major success with has been an artist that he came up with from the ground.
Yeah. Built their sauce together.
Or maybe not the ground. Maybe they already, like a Kendrick Lamar, they was already on their shit. They already had their shit going, and just needed that extra.
But let me
bit.
let me put you in this crock pot over here that you cook.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
I'm gonna put my seasoning on you.
And I respect the fuck out of that, because to me, Dre became the act, if you will. Dre becomes the draw. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. Now, me personally, that's not my goal, but I respect how Dre went about it.
Okay.
No, it's easy for me to produce for all of these established acts. It ain't a lot of people that could say that most of their platinum and gold plaques and diamond plaques are coming from artists that they introduced to the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, now, Fifth was kind of a different circumstance.
Fifth was a different circumstance. He had already had his deal with Columbia, and
but then that fell out.
That fell out,
and nobody would touch him
Yeah.
until that introduction. But then, like you said, it's something about that Dre molding, man.
Well, and Dre, he's not the first one to do it, but Dre is the epitome of a producer. You know, he doesn't have to touch the record. He doesn't have to touch the pads on the MPC to give his part to the record.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, sometimes that guidance and direction is what you need, because one of the biggest assets you can have as a producer is knowing when to say when. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like, when you say that, it reminds me of an interview, I think it was Too Short. I'm talking about Dre. Called him in the studio. He said, we're just going to say this line. He said this line like 200 times. Just this one part of the thing. And then calls him back after the whole studio session done. He calls him back. It's like, I need you to come back and say this other word. Just this word.
Nah, I have a hot take about shit like that I hear about Drake.
Okay.
I feel like he did a lot of that shit on purpose to add to his myth.
The
like,
ethos?
Yeah,
the
like
ethos of who Dre is. So those stories are out there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like, because like, I know for a fact within them 200 takes, he already had it. He already had one that is like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've never met Dre. I hope to meet him one day. But I have heard that he like fucking with people like that.
That sounds,
you know what I'm saying? So, and that's some shit that I would do. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I would do some shit like that. Like, hey, bro, come. hey, just whisper this motherfucker for 50 takes.
Right. Hey, you know what? Hey, just for clarity, we're gonna do that again. We're gonna run it again.
But there's some of that shit that is actually
Have
works.
you ever had a session like that you actually were like, all right, man, again?
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. So that's when I knew, like, okay, it's some context to this. Like, it could actually be true.
There are some sessions where okay.
Oh my God. There are some sessions where it's like,
what are you doing?
And it happens with all different types of artists. Like,
really?
It happens with the ones that can rap their ass off, and it happens because see the thing that I found with rappers that can rap their ass off is they don't like doing punches. They like to get one take down. And it's like, bruh, like,
you trying to get this all out in one breath.
I'm like, bruh, if you don't use modern technology to your fucking advantage, like, I can't.
Look, give me 4 bars. Stop.
Cause like we've been an hour on this, dog. Like,
you try to get every
you got a daughter to get
word
back to
out in this one take, and you're like, bro,
yeah, no, like let's punch it in. You know what I'm saying?
Let's lay it down.
And so I end up doing. I find myself ending up like taking 20 minutes of tracking them from the top type shit, and then like for them to, and then it's like, I'm not trying to break your spirits, like damn, like then it's like, all right, bro, let's just punch it in, man. And I'm like, some of these takes is nice, like what the fuck. But what I realized is rappers are always gonna be the most critical of themselves. So I could think the take is
awesome.
Yeah, but
and they are gonna be in their head like, nah, man, I could have said it like this.
Yeah, so the final product ends up being a blend
of producer,
yeah,
and rapper intake.
Yeah, because just as much as they trust me and my ear, I trust them. Like,
right,
all right, if you think you could do it better, like, cool, but like, let's do it efficiently. Like, let's not sit here for 2 hours doing the song from the top.
Right. Let's take some guidance.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, this part is dope. Let's work on this.
Yeah, but if an artist can't take any criticism or guidance, then I'll end the session. Like I'm at a point in my career where I just don't have the wherewithal to like I'm not gonna fight you on your shit. Like,
I feel you on that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool.
I feel you on that.
You know, like, but I'm also not gonna let anything come out of my studio that sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? So like that I engineered. You know what I'm saying? Or that I produced.
That part.
You know. Now anybody that uses my studio, I'm not responsible for that shit. You know?
Look, I'm telling y'all now, if y'all hear any audio from this podcast come out of his studio,
it's
we're
gonna
gonna
be
make
stellar.
Sure it's gonna be
fucking stellar. Yeah.
the business, baby. It's gonna be the business.
You know? Yeah, man.
So we do all of this, and then you find yourself, like you said, you started the studio for yourself. You get to rocking. We're not chasing placements. What's the goal?
The goal is to develop artists.
So,
and I wanted to originally I wanted to have the first major label here in Vegas.
At least somebody was looking forward to doing it. Golly.
And that's still a goal. I just don't care about being the first one. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
That like I still want to do that. I just don't care about being the first one to do it. I care about being the one
just getting it done.
I care about lasting power. Like I'm not in
legacy.
I'm not in it to be here for 2 years and then defunct. Like, no, I want what I build here, I want it to last. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, sir.
And that don't always mean you're going to be first.
Now, in building these artists, do you take this as an A&R approach, or are we taking this in the approach of an executive? Looking at
a combination, because starting out, it was me and outsourced resources that I had, but it was really just me.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a combination of the A&R approach and the executive approach. But at the end of the day, I'm still in the mud with you because I'm producing all this shit.
Right.
I'm tracking you. You know what I'm saying? Like
you still have the artist feel mixing in with I'm going to look at you critically as an A&R.
Yeah. And
now we've got to look at how to market you like an executive.
Yeah.
So this is a hybrid mindset that you've got to take on.
And I'm glad I did, because it allowed me to be useful in every aspect of the process, opposed to my services end when you walk out the studio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it made me be a viable asset from
the whole process
to release. You know what I'm saying? And post release.
That's what's up.
You know, so I knew it couldn't be a one-man show forever, though. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely started building that team. But the goal went from, you know, well, not the decision was made that, okay, I ain't got to be confused no more. I'm just going to fucking build my artists up and build my roster up, and I can just tour behind my artists. Like, I can just play behind my artists, like, you know.
Now, how does one find you? Like, I'm in my house. I got my home studio done and this and that, but I'm really looking to step up to the next level. Like, I really think I got something here.
Oh, come to Full Circle Studios.
Like, okay, like I want to put my boy The Vision. He's been working his ass off. I think he can go to the next level.
He sounds good.
So how would we approach that? Because I do marketing, consulting, and analytics kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Trends. So reading that he's got a fan base and stuff like that, I want to come to you. There's somebody who builds artists.
Right.
How would he approach you? If from an artist to come to you and be like, hey, man, I need you to work. I want you to work.
And you know it's funny, because that's how it always happens. Like, it's not me going and being like, hey, you want to, like, it always is like,
they roll up on you.
Hey, man, like, so, and I'm gonna get to your boy, but just real quick. So
I was just using him as an example.
How it happened with Myles is Myles was my client first. Well, actually, all right. So Myles Lowe used to have the biggest college radio show, like on the West Coast.
Okay.
And so I was trying to get my artist Eddie Fuse featured on his radio show. That's how I met Myles. And then Myles looked on my page and was like, "Oh, this nigga got some beats. Let me." And so he hit me up. It was like, "I'm working on this project, and I just need somebody to help me, wrap it all up. You think you can help me with that?" I was like, "Sure." You know what I'm saying? And from there, we did the project, finished the project up, and like a week after we released it, everything's going good. He comes to me and he's like, "Hey man, so I remember you telling me about your label, and I want to be a part of that." And he was like, "How you feel about that?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, cause like he was the first artist that is around my age,
right?
Because everybody else I've been dealing with is older than me.
Yeah, from experience, you just hanging around your dad's homies all day.
Yeah. So he's the first artist like around my age that like I really enjoyed working with. You know what I'm saying? And like it was from those early sessions, it was a brotherhood type of thing. You know what I'm
locked
saying?
in.
Yeah, and so it was on. It just felt like the right thing, and I was already thinking the shit in my head like, Lo would be great for this shit.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, a lot of times it happens like that. Like an artist will approach me to work on some stuff, and they see how I work and see how I operate, and because everything's going on in my studio. You know what I'm saying? I might finish a session with you, and then I'm starting a rehearsal for one of my artists. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not gonna kick you out. You can stick around. You know what I'm saying? But like, a lot of artists will see that and be like, "Oh shit, how can I get the band behind? This and that." You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it just cultivates from there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always willing to lend my resources and my experience to any artist that is going to push themselves and invest in themselves, and that is going to. I don't want you to take my what I say is the Bible. I just want you to be open to trying different things, and if it works, it works.
That's
if
the
it
key.
don't, just throw the shit in the trash.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're not open to being a student when you need to be, your lifespan in this thing is gonna be short. That's something that I pride myself on is staying a student. It ain't nothing that I know everything about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know every fucking thing. So I pride myself on staying a student and, taking in as much knowledge as I can, even in the field that I've been in for coming up on 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, wait, because come on. Did you just turn what, like 30 something?
I'm gonna be 32 in June.
I was about to say, yeah, you are young.
Yeah.
Young, very accomplished.
Thank you,
in
man.
this space, man, and that's a blessing.
Yes, it is.
To
Man.
see,
all praises to the Most High.
To see, but you know what? I love that you took your talent and you ran with it. You did not let it go to waste. And I don't know your parents, but I'm gonna thank your parents.
Hey, man, shout out to them, man.
Shout out to your parents,
Cap Ivory and Mama Rachel,
because
that's what everybody knows them as. And
if y'all know me, one of my biggest things is family, the family incorporation of music. My dad told me, just try playing the saxophone
and change your life.
And boy, did it, man.
Yeah,
man. Like I picked up that saxophone and it got me out the street.
Yep.
Cause it was at that time I was very impressionable. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I still have some homies that are affiliated.
Yeah.
But back then, especially when I was like leading that double life kind of deal, and then the homies found out I was good at the saxophone.
It's like, nigga, what is you doing? If you don't get your ass back to the crib and practice,
bro,
you're not finna be on this stupid shit.
Bro, I got kicked out. I got jumped out.
Yeah. That's because niggas love you.
They forcefully jumped me out, bro.
Yeah, that's when niggas love you and see that you could be the one.
And yeah,
shout out to all my niggas back home in Southwest Detroit.
shout out to the big homies that saw that,
bro.
There's something
They
in
made
me.
sure that I was like, boy, you was not getting into no kind like
Yes, sir.
and I used to do some stupid shit as a kid,
Right.
okay, especially in Detroit. But you know, like that's what I'm saying, community, man. You know what I'm saying? Like having the homies and the older homies, you know, in the neighborhood recognize that in you,
Yeah.
and be like, yo, you can do it. And
Get off this block.
you're not finna be out here. You got a problem. Somebody got a problem with you. I'll take care of it.
Bruh,
You know what I'm saying?
I had that, and I still had that kind of love.
Yeah,
in the hood, and it was so dope.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes from Detroit is always gonna be like that. You know, Detroit's always gonna be like that.
Right.
That's one of the things that I love about Detroit is that sense of community. You know, but also like, you know, my dad did his part. I watched my dad take some of the biggest D-boys in the neighborhood and show them how to do this shit and get them off the street and
turn
put their
they
money
path.
into other things and do way better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to this day, you know, my dad is always gonna be good when he in Detroit. And he always gonna be, you know, good if he need anything, he gonna be straight. You know what I'm saying? Because he's done his part. And he didn't have to, man. My dad could have very well been very selfish in his career.
Right.
And the amount of selflessness that my dad exuded throughout his career. My dad put on R. Kelly's music director. I know that's a hot take right now, but
That's still legend.
that could have been
I'm
my
sorry.
dad's gig. My dad gave that to a whole nother cat to stay home and raise me. You know what I'm saying?
And that's one of the most legendary careers
Kern
of our
Brantley.
time.
Kern Brantley, one of the biggest and hottest music directors in the game. My dad put him on. And
What?
Kern will tell you that. My dad is the reason Kern got on. Those early gigs that Kern was doing, man, my dad put him on to that shit.
That's crazy.
Donnie Lyle, my dad, that was my mom's guitar player in a whole nother band. My dad gave him that R. Kelly gig. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad has done a lot for a lot of people in the game that, you know.
We just gonna throw some small applause.
Shout out Pops, man. You know, and
out
so
Pops.
and I will talk that shit for him because I know he won't. You know what I'm saying? I know.
The humble card.
Yeah, but fuck all that. Like my dad's a pioneer in the freestyle movement. You know what I'm saying? As far as the freestyle music scene, Stevie B, Planet Patrol, all that breakdance music. That my dad is one of the pioneers in that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow, because we just had. That's crazy. So one of my earlier interviews, Jazzy Caliente.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Jazzy's folks were some of the original B-boys.
Yeah.
So
My dad,
like
dad's
like that is
worked with everybody
crazy.
from Africa Bambaataa, Curtis Blow, all that shit.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
man. My dad was part of the first Fresh Fest, all of that shit. Yeah,
That's gotta
yeah.
be just
So I'm gonna talk my dad shit for him.
hell
I don't give
yeah.
a fuck.
Talk it, man.
You know, but
Talk
yeah,
it.
man. Like, and so I grew up seeing that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's why it was always in me to want to cultivate talent
Right.
and help talent grow. It's just because I grew up seeing my dad do it. You know what I'm saying? And I saw him do it and balance it while being an executive and, you know, in a genre that he's not really, you know, totally familiar with, but he's a musician nonetheless, so he could tackle anything. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? My dad's done.
Especially doing it in the market that you new to,
Yeah, you know.
and then you thrive in it.
Yeah.
Like,
But that was always instilled in me, not being scared of shit, because this is music, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's music at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
You know, and when you're a musician and you know you really take pride in that, it ain't shit you can't do. That's why I can do a Chris Stapleton session and understand it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not known as the hip hop guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be. You know,
Going by the credits here, it's evolved and matured more.
Yeah, you know,
just it sounds like music theory kicked in.
Yeah,
Tough.
and just the freeness, man. You know, like
understanding
it, right?
Understanding it.
Yeah, understanding the theory, but also, utilizing it creatively, not being bound to it. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that my dad put me on to Quincy very early.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's always gonna be my GOAT. Quincy Jones and Dr. Dre. Throw Teddy Riley in there. Those are my GOATs. You know what I'm saying?
That's a hell of a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, those are my GOATs.
Damn.
Yeah, Quincy, man, he did if there wasn't a genre he didn't touch.
That part.
And it's the freeness of it, man. We're making music. You know what I'm saying? Now, yeah, there's a genre and there's, forms and structure that we can follow, but we can still bend that shit a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's music.
It's music.
And that was something that, I'm named after Myles Davis for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the Myles attitude for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit's music, man. If you can play a note, then,
you can make it happen.
You can make it happen,
Yes,
and
sir.
I had the privilege of, I started in techno. I came out here, and because you got to also understand, I was 12 years old, so I wasn't exposed to a lot.
Right.
So my exposure to hip hop and R&B is what I grew up listening to my sister play, and what I got exposed to when I moved out here. Because now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's so in house.
Yeah. So what I'm listening to in the crib is what my dad's working on, and
right, way before we heard it on the radio,
right, and and you
heard the beginnings of it,
right, and then what my sister would play, like Black Street and shit like that, but like and what was on the radio, but like really digging in and learning, about hip hop and really digging in and understanding the importance of a lot of these. Like I learned about Jodeci my 8th grade year. You know what I'm saying? And how I learned about Jodeci is funny. It's a musician. A musician that used to play with my mother, Christopher Jackson.
Okay.
They call him Mike Jackson. He recently passed. But he was he was my mom's keyboardist for a group that she played with out here. But he was actually the musical director for Jodeci.
Gotcha.
And so, that was how I got exposed to that. You know what I'm saying? Is being around him, and because I wanted to start taking piano lessons from him, because he was just a dope keyboardist. So I was like, let me take a few lessons from this cat, and he just exposed me to, all of that. And that from him is where I went further with the live programming, between him and my dad, because that was something my dad, I've always seen him do. Like, he would go out and do, a gig with just him and my mom and playing with tracks that he programmed himself, like not some bullshit he got off the internet. Like he'll actually, program Sweet Love by Anita Baker himself, reproduce it himself. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So between him and Mike, that was where I really learned the importance of programming and putting that behind a band.
Okay.
And that, man, can't beat it.
And change the game.
Yeah, can't beat it. Now, is it a little restrictive? It can be. But when you're talking about having a structured show, your structure's there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That part. What do you tell 12-year-old loves music? He's got MIDI controller, got a Mac. What do you tell him to do? I love music. I love making it. Where do you start?
Okay, I'll tell him a lot of things, though. But the first thing I would say is pick a program, YouTube the fuck out of it.
YouTube University.
You know, the second thing I would say is don't get caught up in trying to imitate your favorite producer. The third thing I would say is try to get in a real studio as soon as possible. Whether it's just being an intern and taking the trash out, or you actually get to run a session. And the last thing I would say, no, not the last thing. The next thing I would say is, and it's tough for a 12-year-old, but I wish I had heard it when I was 12. Don't take this shit personal. Don't take this shit personal. People are going to. That's what we didn't hit on, is like the shit I don't have the credits for that I got fucked out of and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't take this shit personal. Know that. Use that as an indicator. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what I did. Use that shit as an indicator.
Yes,
okay, I know these niggas. Okay, they know me.
They
now.
know me, and they don't know me.
They know me.
So I need to.
And they know I can do this shit. I know I can do this shit. Okay, because you wouldn't steal it if it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? So
Imitation, best form of flattery.
So don't take it personal. You know, use it as fuel. You know what I'm saying? You use that shit as fuel. You know, people, it's gonna be rare to come across truly genuine people in this industry, and when you do, stick with them.
Lock them in.
You know what I'm saying? I have the team that I have today because of that. You know what I'm saying? It took a decade, but I got the right team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think the last thing would be get out when this shit ain't fun no more, man.
Know when to quit.
We need, that's the thing, man. Music stopped being fun because the people making it stopped having fun. You know what I'm saying?
That man.
Music stopped being fun because the motherfuckers making it that are
job.
on that we're listening to ain't having fun making the shit.
Man, if you ain't telling the truth.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you don't let this shit, this shit ain't fun no more, take a time out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, music is supposed to be fun, man. Music is supposed to, I mean, it can evoke many emotions, right?
Right.
But it ain't supposed to be work. It ain't supposed to give you ulcers and have your hair falling out and all this shit.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And trust me, I've worked on many a big session and many a big artist. And okay, I get it could be stressful, but this shit's still supposed to be fun.
But right, like when it starts getting to that point,
yeah,
hit the pause button.
You'd be surprised how many people are are forcing themselves to do this shit. And how many people just see this shit as a money grab.
I can see that too.
You know,
well, I can see that in my industry in podcasting.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon saying that,
Yeah.
we're just
I can get a quick bag real quick.
Not knowing, like, bro, I'm in my fourth season. I'm still doing this out of pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a quick bag, you guys.
It's not at all. This is a journey, man. I tell cats this every time. Anytime somebody comes to me and wants to work with me and be a part of my label and a part of my team, I tell them, man, this is a journey. This shit ain't about to be overnight.
It's not tomorrow, bro.
You know, I can't guarantee you.
We talking about a 2-year plan.
Like this is gonna be a journey, and you got to be willing to go on it. And that instant gratification, you know, it's like people are entitled to it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that microwave society is
And you got to understand, man, there was a time where you couldn't get access to a lot of this shit. It was a time where you wasn't just getting up in the studio.
Right. You wasn't just walking in.
Yeah, even if you could afford it,
you had to know somebody.
You had to have a label book it for you, or you had to have a manager book it for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You had to have something vetted behind you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't always a time where a producer could just download a software on their computer and make beats.
Right.
You know, it wasn't always a time where, you know, you could just have a studio at your home. And one that's competitive with a commercial studio at that.
Right.
You know, so it's a lot of entitlement in this shit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You had cats like Teddy Riley that was fighting to get in the fucking studio when they was coming up. And so it created a yearning and a love for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
When you could just pause Call of Duty and start making a beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
nowadays, yeah.
Like that's the difference. You know what I'm saying?
You
like
had to work for it.
You had to really
put in some
You
work.
had to put in a lot of work before you even got to the studio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I came up in a time where, you know, the access to equipment, you know, for the typical consumer, you know, started to increase. You know, but that's the thing. Like everybody can do it now. You know, it's I won't say it's rare because it's not. I won't say it's rare, but finding people that have that genuine love for this shit, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That you know, this is all you gonna know me for is this. You know what I'm saying? It's not as common. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm glad you said that because we are at the end of the show.
Your
story is fucking amazing, bro. I can listen to your
give
story.
You a part 2 one of these days.
Yeah, man. We really got to lock in for a part 2 to talk about some of the like things that you said, like some of the stuff that we didn't get placed on and features and a beat that got stolen.
Yeah.
How that worked out. You know what I mean? So we definitely got to get a part 2 on that.
Let's do it.
Let's
do
just
it.
to talk about the experience.
Because I would love to tell people how to overcome that.
Those are growing pains that I think are really important for people to know how to navigate through.
Yeah.
But what I want you to do right now is shine some light. I want you to plant some seeds in the garden, 3 specifically.
Okay.
That you feel have done the work, that you feel have put in that time and effort, and you go, hey man, tell your story.
Okay. All right.
Who would you invite into the planter here?
Man. Okay. This is where the executive side of me comes out because I'm just gonna plug my artists, right?
Hey, let's rock it.
All right, so
I love it.
I definitely, but no, for real, because their stories are awesome. Myles Lowe, Vic Smith, and Tana Marie. And I got 2 honorable mentions for you.
Ooh,
Mac Neely.
Fucking Mac.
Yeah.
I saw him.
Bro.
I've seen him perform twice.
Mac's my dog, man. I love that guy, man. Like me and Mac go back. Mac
Neely is
Mac
dope.
was my first percussionist out here. Like when I put a band together, like a lot of people don't even know, like Mac was one of the hardest percussionists in the city, bro. Like Mac was dope. But yeah, like Mac is a great guy, a great artist, but an even better individual. And
Mac Neely.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's my dog.
Yes.
Yeah, Myles Lowe, I think, his story is amazing, and how much he loves this city is, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Now, see, for me, that would be a breath of fresh air. Cause
he puts on for this fucking city. He walks the walk. He loves this town, man. Vic Smith, my brother, a hell of an artist, hell of a creative producer. Tana Marie, the songstress, songbird, the most beautiful voice ever, man. And a hell of a journey, hell of a story, man. She's overcome a lot. And the last honorable mention would be my father, Cap Ivory. I would have you interview him.
Yeah.
He's got a lot. He's got a story to tell, and he's got a lot of knowledge to give. And I mean, look, I'm a proponent of it. I've got a lot of success from the knowledge that man has given me. So,
man,
yeah, man.
it was a pleasure having you here.
Likewise, man. Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Like I said, I could listen to this whole story over and over and over again, and I'll probably find something new every time.
Man, it's funny. I remind myself of shit because I forget about a lot of shit sometimes, man. For real. Me and my dad will sit down at the couch sometimes and be like, man, I forgot you did that.
Oh,
So.
Well, shoot, tell everybody where we can find you at, man.
Oh, man, you can find me on Instagram at Beats by Noize, Noize. Twitter, Beats by Noize. Everything, all things Beats by Noize. Full Circle Studios is where I reside. That is my home base. FCSLasVegas.com is our website. Full Circle Studios LV on all social media. Holla at me. Man.
Y'all, this is one of the most amazing stories I've heard in all 4 seasons that I've put out. And like I said, I'm looking forward to a part 2. Y'all, this is Growing with Drewski, season 4, the most epic season we've had yet.
Hey.
And y'all, please, please, please make sure you guys are following us on all our social platforms at Drewski Media, DRUSKIMEDIA. And then make sure you're following us at Drewski Media on YouTube. And then you can find Growing with the Drewski. That's Drewski spelled DREWSKI. Growing with Drewski on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You guys, thank you so much for listening, and we are out.